Hey, OURChurch. Hope you're having a great weekend. Man, happy 4th of July. July 3rd and 4th weekend. Man, we're so glad. Hopefully you're celebrating freedom. There's a little saying that I've used for probably the past 10 years. Don't celebrate your freedom in a way today that's going to put you in bondage tomorrow. Man, we're free. The Bible says who the Son sets free is free indeed. So we're free in Jesus. And we are free. We're celebrating freedom. So, man, hopefully you're having a great holiday. We're throwing it back. We're stepping back into the archives this 4th of July weekend. I know some of you are maybe out and about camping and on vacation and doing other things. And we don't want you to miss out on our church. So thanks so much for watching. But we're going to take a look back into 2020. Dean did an incredible interview with some frontline workers and soldiers, people who served in the military in the past. I promise you, you're gonna love this interview. The perspective, the insight, the wisdom on freedom and justice and liberty. I'm telling you, it's great. So, buckle up. Well, if you're driving, buckle up. Hopefully you've already been buckled. But man, if you're on your couch, man, get your notepad out. You're gonna love this.
Hi everybody, it's Dean. Welcome to our online experience. Thank you to Luke and the worship team for your music. I'm just so grateful for that whole team and for the people that are helping create in this theater, the Monarch Theater at the corner of 67th and Cirque. We're trying to do a Jesus thing here. It's not a religious thing. It's not a make you feel bad thing. It's a Jesus thing where we talk about his principles and we try to live them out through our lives. And in America, this 4th of July weekend is in a stirring place. You know, in Scripture, when God starts stirring things, he starts moving things around, it's always for our good. And I believe good things are happening, even though I know a lot of people are confused and a lot of people are asking questions, a lot of people are concerned. You got to know God's for us and he's working good things. And I have 3 guys here that are a part of OURChurch, and they're 253 guys now. Maybe you weren't born here, but say hello. Will you introduce yourself and tell us what you do for a living, and welcome everybody to our experience.
Sure. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Leck, born and raised in Stolicum. I live in University Place, about 2 blocks away from here.
Yeah.
Went to Stolicum High School, graduated in 2003, went to college in Olympia, and then chose to go work in Iraq as a contract firefighter for 2 years.
And you're a firefighter in this community?
Yep, now I'm a firefighter now, just down in the city of DuPont.
You got a family, kids?
Yep, family, 3 kids, and just got married a couple years ago.
Well, thank you for being a part of the church.
Happy to be here.
Emmett, introduce yourself.
Emmett Matthews, how you doing, church? I'm from New Jersey. Got out of high school, went into the military. I live in the north end in Tacoma. Nice, happy place. Yeah. Beautiful family, beautiful church family. Great times.
And you and I, we go at each other during football season because you're naturally a New York Giants fan.
Here we go.
I'm naturally a Dallas Cowboys fan, but we put it aside. We put it aside and become friends. Salem, Steve.
Hey, my name's Steve Hollister. I'm originally from Redding, California. I joined the Army back in 2008, and that's how I landed the first time in the 253.
Yeah.
And I first heard Dean back then. And,
that's right.
And joined the military there, did 7 years, got out, and now I own my own steel welding fabrication shop here in Tacoma, and just grinding, man.
Yeah,
I got a beautiful wife and 2 boys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, we got... There's 4 of us here. We're all from different places, different stages of life, different backgrounds. When I say America, what America means, when you're describing America, let's start with you, Steve. Okay. When you're describing America, you're a veteran. You've fought in other countries for other people's freedom. How do you describe America to somebody who doesn't live here?
Man, that's a great question, because I would describe it, the best way to put it would be a land of equal opportunity. Yep. Equal opportunity to get what God has for you.
May not be the same outcome. Right. Everybody's life looks different.
Yep.
But this is a place where people get a shot.
It's a place where anybody gets a chance.
Anybody.
Everybody starts. Everybody can get what God has for them.
Yeah. Emmett, how do you answer that? When you're describing, somebody comes, you and I have traveled a little bit together to different parts of the country. When somebody's asking you about America, what is America to you?
I mean, kind of like he said, everybody's on that same block where you can start off and get running, but there's a lot of things that can be better as far as rights.
Yeah.
And it can get better. You know, I think community starts to get it better and it just can go up the line, but
for sure.
outstanding.
How about for you?
Yeah, not to sound cliche, but opportunistic is really what comes to mind with the fact that you might have a set path and career in what you want to do, and you feel a calling to go somewhere else. You can do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay put in a cycle of unhappiness. You can have the opportunity to change it. You don't have to be stuck in one career path. You don't have to be stuck in one town or one city. You can move. So I think the opportunities there, that there's opportunities through doors opening, and when they shut, more doors open over here. You don't have to just stay in one direction.
Yeah, when I've been to a bunch of different countries. In India, if you're a street sweeper, you're born in a street sweeper category. I mean, they literally have street sweeper category, and you will live and die a street sweeper. You will live and die a prostitute. They have prostitution categories. Like if your grandmother and her mother, and I mean, it's just like locked in. So when you're in a place like India and you're describing what the three of you are talking about, they can't even comprehend it. Mm-hmm. Because if your dad worked in grocery stores, you're gonna work in grocery. Like you're gonna live in. Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! See, prophet. I'm a prophet. Yeah. When I was in college, I read about what they called the Great American Experiment. That this is the largest democracy, secular democracy. So you don't have to be a follower of Jesus. You don't have to be a Muslim. You get to chart your own faith course, okay? But that experiment is developing. The founders of this country said things in the documents that they weren't doing. They weren't living even close. It's like they set a target out there, even though they weren't there. They weren't even, they weren't in alignment with the promise, So in the time right now where everybody watching knows the day we're living in, they're not just watching cartoons all day. They're reading the same stuff you're reading, watching the same stuff you're watching, having the same conversations that we're having. As Jesus guys, because everybody here is a Jesus person, what's next for the American experiment? What do we have to get right that we're not getting right now, in your opinion? And everybody knows it's just opinions. We're all friends here, but what do you sense, like in the 253, what's happening here? What needs to happen in Washington State, in the greater picture? What are you sensing, as leaders here?
I think the one thing that we need to focus on, in my opinion, is that we stay patient with each other and understanding that, for the most part, everyone wants the same thing. So if somebody doesn't understand this argument over here, or this person's so firm in their beliefs that they won't even listen to this argument over here, right, we're not going to get anywhere because we're shutting each other off before we even have the opportunity to open up to one another. So I think being patient with one another and allowing ourselves the opportunity to hear what others are saying, so that we can then also express our voice and be heard. Because I think right now everyone is expressing what they want to express, but at the same time, people might not be listening. So I think as long as we're patient and open to working with each other to keep moving in the same direction, because everyone wants the same thing.
Do you sense that people are patient? Because here's what I think. I think people are more patient than it seems. Melanie likes to say that this is the happiest church in the 253. Well, it's not happy because we all agree. Mm-hmm. It's happy because people basically, what they're saying, in a Facebook post or something, they're not that, that's a billboard, and that people put up a billboard where they want to go. But that's not to say they're that they're not going to have a dialogue. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just Dean. I'm not
Right.
trying to force that on you. But Emmett, how do you process, where should we be going right now?
Well, I think movement to change is happening in the world right now. And as a Jesus person, I just think Jesus is wanting everybody kind of to depend on each other.
Yeah.
You can give me any opinion you want to give me, but I still think it's going through everybody's hands, through everybody's words, through everybody's actions on who lives matter.
Right.
You know, and I think it can really get to a good place right now with what's going on. You hate to see people hurt. You hate to see people sprayed and what's going on with it, but I think the voices are being loud and the people are being proud.
This stirring, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, it's not, I don't think people should automatically assume, oh, it's deterioration.
Right,
You know, it's not deterioration, it could be progress.
right.
We get to decide if we're going to move forward or not. And how long did you serve in the
11.
11 year
years in the Army.
11-year veteran?
Right.
Does it trouble you that you served your country and people with your skin tone still are having to scrap for some basics?
Well, see, that was a choice that I made that probably was the best choice I made in my life, because I had so many NCOs who groomed me up as a young man going to war. I went straight from AIT, you know. So
What is AIT?
It's your training.
Okay.
So you do basic training and your skills training is AIT. And I needed that, you know.
That was an education for
right,
you.
and my first duty station was Germany. So that's my first time away from home. So you go from being a high school athlete to doing your training to you're going to Europe.
Right.
Okay.
See the world a little.
And it was the best experience of my life, but I had so many good leaders who helped me step by step of growing up, taking care of yourself and maintaining. Along that, you're in war, you know, so I was in Desert Storm, Desert Shield.
Okay.
You know, you grow up fast and you see so many things, but you use it. You know, I've used everything a coach told me, everything I learned in the military, things I do
The
in
good
church
stuff and the bad stuff. Even the prejudice that's come your way. You must have seen it.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I mean, is that a Jesus thing, that to help you take pain and translate it into something positive, or is that just an attitude thing?
I think it's both. I mean, I use attitude every day. I use positive attitude every day.
Yeah.
You know, you want it to be good. You know it's going to be sour sometime.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it? You know, the Jesus part of it,
Yeah.
I see my grandmother's face every day, taking me to church. Like, depend on what he's going to do for you. You're going to be all right.
Now, does that resonate with you on the faith level? Let me switch to faith here a little bit, because part of what America is about is letting people discover their own faith. I mean, you don't have, as I said, you don't have to be a Jesus person. You don't have to be a Muslim. You don't have to be a Catholic or a Protestant. How did you, apparently Grandma had a role dragging him to church, but you come from a religious family.
Yep.
Positive,
So,
not positive?
I'm going to tie this into kind of something you really comment on that last one.
Okay.
But I come from, my dad's a Baptist preacher, right? So I grew up very, very regimented. I grew up in Christian schools, went to private schools my whole life, you know, so sheltered.
Yeah.
To you know, some extent, right? I mean, like we were like, I mean, we hunted, we fished, we had a social life, but everything was within borders, right? And so transitioning to the military, you know, I was a black and white guy. Like, it's either this way or it's this way. There's no gray areas, because that's the way I was raised, right? You either believe this or you don't believe this, and if you don't believe it, then man, I don't know what to tell you, you know, and it's over, right? I learned a lot of gray in the military. I learned it isn't black and white, that there's a lot, that the spirit moves between the black and the gray, right? Or the white, you know, it moves through, you know? And so for me, like kind of tying it back into what you were asking earlier about the state of the country right now, about 10 years ago, like I had a word spoken that was the unadulterated church of God, right? He's not coming back for the Baptists. He's not coming back for the Presbyterian. He's not coming back for the Catholic. He's coming back for a pure bride, right? And what's going on right now is exciting because the lids come off.
Because it's purifying.
It's the lids come off all the religion, the cap of the fake, the hierarchies, the pushing the agendas, and so everybody, whether it's good or bad, it's okay because now we can see what it is.
I believe that. Because some of the things we're fighting right now have been sustained by religion and even prejudices, have been sustained by systems that don't honor God. They don't honor his law, his natural law. How did you find Jesus?
Long road. Long road. I grew up.
It's relatively fresh.
I was baptized in 2014. So, but yeah, my parents, 2 different religions in the household, and never knew which one to follow with. And then my dad passed away when I was really young, which kind of steered me away from the whole concept of religion.
Right.
And then, ironically, while I was in Iraq, I started attending Sunday Mass with a couple of the guys. And then things went downhill again when I came back from Iraq and started going to church with my now wife. Listened to you talk a couple of times.
And that didn't kill you?
That didn't kill me.
Lightning didn't strike or something?
I actually came back. It was kind of interesting. I was actually excited to keep going back and hear you talk. And just one day I had 3 ankle surgeries in 1 year and was in a walking cast and crutches, and you had just finished your service for the day, and something just tugged me up out of my chair, and I hobbled down a flight of steps and was like, I'm getting baptized. And it was Easter in 2014 I got baptized.
Very cool.
But that's when I realized it isn't religion, it's Jesus.
Yeah.
And that I can relate to. I can relate to, not to the full extent, but I can relate to this story of just, walking in a better path and being beaten down and still finding the light and the opportunities, as I touched on earlier, that just because you're going down this path doesn't mean there's an opportunity to pull you this way.
Right.
So being able to have that now and a go-to for me is another opportunity that I get in America to be able to practice my belief in Jesus and openly do it.
Right. Now you mentioned growing up in a religious home, but I mean, Jesus became more fresh to you as a grown man once you were out of the military, yeah?
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Like I had a hard time bridging the gap between the knowledge and I know the word. Like you'll never get the word out of me, and that's what I love about the way that I was raised, right? But bridging that gap from the word to the experience, right? Which is I was always taught against the experience growing up, right? So, but having the experience, and the first time I truly experienced, I told you this the other day when we were talking, is when I sat underneath you when you were speaking at the other church, and I was fresh into the military, freshly met my wife, and you spoke about, and the sermon was just simply Abba Father. I can't remember exactly, but I think that's what it was, and you kept saying it, man, and it was like that day, like I have a great father, and he always loved me deeply, right? But like I made that same connection that day. It was that experience, right? It was the spoken part of it, right?
Nice.
So, and then man, my story's crazy all the way through.
Yeah.
But that's when it started for me.
Good days and bad days. Jesus is in all of it.
Yeah.
And you and I met through your oldest son, right?
David,
And saying it's time to go back.
Right.
Yeah, so the kids are kind of, Grandma got it started, but then the kids kind of pull you guys back.
Right.
What do you sense? We'll start with you. You live here for a reason. You don't have to live here.
Right.
I mean, you're from the East Coast, and you overcame being raised as a Giants fan, and now you're over here on the West Coast where we have other teams. But in all seriousness, why do you live here? Why do you worship here? Why is the Matthews family rooted in this community and not somewhere else?
When you're going to get out of the military, you're really trying to figure it out. Like, do I want to go home, or where am I at? Is it gonna be? Am I gonna be all right? and you're asking everybody in your family.
Yeah.
They want to know what you're gonna do, and I'm walking through the mall, and I run into her.
The beautiful girl.
And you know, I mean, I always liked the atmosphere here. I liked how it looked,
Yeah.
the green. I'm used to the city, but the people were nice.
But at the end,
I
it's
felt
about the
good.
beautiful girl.
Right, and I felt good here. I didn't feel like I couldn't do it.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, and then I get into the community, the Boys and Girls Club, and
Yeah.
it's getting better.
Yeah.
You know, I'm running into nice families. So I start coaching the kids, and once I started coaching, I knew then because I wanted my daughter and sons to be able to
Yeah.
focus on grades,
Yeah.
be athletic in the church. So it was going good.
Yeah.
You know, it was going good to right now, you know, having them be in college and play.
Yeah.
I mean, you know the story.
Yeah.
It's a great story.
And you have
We're
such
not
a...
finished yet.
Yeah, that's right.
We're not finished
That's
yet.
right.
But I mean, for the kids to be where they can understand what's
Yeah.
happening, that's all you want.
Yeah.
We done been through it already.
Right.
And,
That's so
and
true.
in Desert Storm, in that foxhole, when it was blowing on me, and I'm saying, if you can get me out of here, I'll do whatever.
Were there moments where you weren't sure if he was going to get you out of there?
Oh, I mean, when the first day, when the sirens go off, when they're going over, when the stealths are going over, and you see the bombs going down, and you see the tracers coming up, that's when I'm like, what's really going on? Did I sign up for the wrong thing?
Yeah, no
But
kidding.
then you're hoping, like, all your training,
Right.
your buddies that you're
Yeah,
with,
right.
you want the
Yeah.
best for everybody,
Yeah.
but you're
Yeah.
asking them at that time.
Yeah. You guys have both been, you're in Iraq and you were in Afghanistan. Does that resonate with you?
100%. 100%.
And it's a blessing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A blessing.
Yeah.
Why are you here? Why not Reading? Why is this home?
You asked me that 6 months ago. I told you I have no idea why I came back here. I came back here out of necessity. The oil field was starting to dry out, and I had a choice between Louisiana and here, and I was on my way to Louisiana, and I got stuck in a snowstorm, and they called me and said that the job wasn't available, and the only other job was here at Washington at the Port of Tacoma.
Wow.
So I came here, and I always knew I was supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And I'm here because the battle's here.
Yeah.
Because the fight's here.
Tell me about that. What?
So to me, man, I'm here because of what's going on right now. I'm here because you're here. I'm here because I listen to you and I listen to the people that are here and the people that are around us. And like, yeah, there's some toxic stuff going on in society right now, but that's why we exist.
That's right, bro.
We are warriors. Like that's what like everything that we went through in the military was a physical training camp for a spiritual battle.
Yeah.
Right? So the spiritual battle, like now when things are going on, like when we're getting fear mongered and we're getting, oh, this is what's really going on, this is what's going on, this is what's going on, and then you set in your peace.
Yeah.
Because you said in the beginning, right? In the beginning, you're like, oh my God, everything's coming down on top of me, right? But 6 months into it, I remember standing up on a mountain when it started firing going like, where's it coming from? Where's it coming? You're not afraid anymore.
That's a great.
You're not afraid
That's a great
anymore.
picture.
Because then you have an understanding of what's going on.
And that's how we have to live. Like this is a different kind of fight, different
Right.
kind of battle.
Rest on your flesh.
But this is what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, I mean, this is what Jesus people are here for.
What are we hiding from?
This is why we teach our kids. Your kids are living big lives. You got one going to college. You got one working in downtown Seattle. Another in collegiate sports, headed to professional sports. You're raising a family. You're a fireman. You're on the front lines of solving problems with us. I mean, this community needs guys like you to be Jesus people and figure it out with your people so that we can change this town, Because if there were more men like this would be a better place, in my opinion. What do you want people to know? It's the 4th of July. This is the first, they'll be able to watch it throughout the week, but the first time people are going to see this is on Independence Day. I want you to look at this camera, and we'll start with you, Jason. Then we'll just go down the line. I want you to look at that camera, and what do you, from your soul, I'm not just talking from your head, from your soul, what do you want people to know
Yeah, I think everyone just needs to know it's going to be okay. We're going to get through all this together. I was told a long time ago that you're either going into a hard time, you're in a hard time, or you're coming out of a hard time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when I was told that little tidbit of advice, I took that on as, okay, well, I got all this, I got to handle all this on my own. I've just now recently discovered that if I do that with Jesus, it's a little bit more tolerable, and I can take on more than I could have if I was by myself. Because I'm not in it alone.
Right.
No, we're not in this alone. And as long as we stay focused with our message to our brothers and sisters through the word of Jesus, that we're going to get through this just fine. That's just what I want everyone to just take away from it, is that we'll get through this.
I love it. It's awesome. Emmett, what do you want those people to know?
I mean, like he said, I think it's going to take a lot of love. You know, love your brothers and sisters, depend on each other more. But for the country, it's going to be like this no matter what. Some type of way, everybody's going to get connected some type of way, with everybody feeling equality and justice for everything they do. So even if somebody does come here from somewhere else, they still feel good here.
Yep.
And I think that's the only way you should be able to live. But for the stages, just watching you on stage and seeing the energy and the love that you pass down through Jesus through us, I know where it's going. I know where it's going. And for you two guys being here with me today, I love them just hearing the stories, because you need those stories to grow.
Yeah, you do.
So grow in your own place, grow in your own circle to where you feel like it's just right.
I love it. Excellent.
That's awesome.
Finish it off for us, man.
All right, so all things work together for good to them. The good does not become before the work. The good always comes because of the work. And right now, it doesn't look good, but it is good. So keep your peace, because now is what we are called. This is why we are here. This is why we are here, right? So do the work. Get up. Stop being afraid. It's not about courage is facing your fears and still engaging the battle, right?
Yeah.
Run the race. Run the race. Keep your peace. And know that all things work together for good.
Yeah. I love it. Hey, listen, thank you for joining us. I'm going to throw it to Brandon, but before I do, I want you to know the spirit that's in these men. These are guys living in the same place you're living, going through the same things you're going through. If you could just trust Jesus right now. I don't know if you need to talk to somebody. You can reach out to OURChurch. You can reach out. There'll be a little number on the screen, an email. You can email somebody, but don't do this alone. Don't give up. Don't stop moving. Let's do this thing together. Don't let noise push out the music, because this is going to be beautiful. Everything. These are the three wise men here, or the three wise guys. But everything they said, I just think is from Jesus. We're in this together. Let's make it a great day. Not have a good day. Not hope it drops in our lap. We make it. The American experiment is you, and me, and them. If we get it, they're gonna get it. All right. So Brandon is going to talk. Thank you. I want you to come visit me in this Monarch Theater. You know, we call it the Monarch because the monarch butterfly is the king of all butterflies, and this has a butterfly roof. And a butterfly is the picture of transformation. People are changed here. So come see me. If you're watching this on Saturday, see me tomorrow, 9, 10:30, or noon. I'd love to share a totally fresh message, all right? This is sign language. It means I love you. Blessings. Thanks for being with me.
Welcome to church. Come on, let's stand on our feet. Let's worship our God today. Let's put our hands together. Here we go. Waking up knowing there's a reason. All my dreams come alive. Life is for living with you. I made made my decision. You lift me up, fill my eyes with wonder. Forever young in your love, this freedom's untainted. With you, no moment is wasted. Here we go. See the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I am found. Sing it out. This is living now. This is living now. Lead the way, God, you're right beside me. In your love, I'm complete. There's nothing like living with you. This life you created, I choose. See the sun, black and white, turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I am found. Say, this is living now. This is living now. You take me higher than I've been before. It's your perfect love that sees me soar. God, you're free as an open door. You are everything I want and more. Come on, let's clap those hands. Let's sing it out. I see the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white. Little louder this time. See the sun. Say, see the sun now bursting. There you go. All is new in the Savior I am found. This say. This is living now. Oh, this is living now. Say, you take me higher than I've been before. It's your perfect love that sees me soar. God, you're free as an open door. You are everything I want. Well, give him praise this morning. He is.
Okay, what did I tell you? I'm telling you it was excellent. Can you believe that was in 2020? And now we're sitting here, it's July 3rd, July 4th, 2021. Man, how fast a year can go by. And I can't say thank you enough. Thank you enough for being a part of our church. And man, ever since we took on our church, almost 30-something months ago, I believe, and it was from 6th Ave to here at 67th to the roof. This time last year we were on the roof, and now we're inside the Monarch. And I just think about faithful people that are just so generous with their time and their talent and their treasure. Did you know that we have almost 90 people that serve on our dream team? So when I say time, I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And they give of their talents. Whether they're creative or they do worship or they do hospitality or they do first impressions or kids. We have big guys that are doing security. I mean, these people are time, they're talent. And man, so many people give to our church. Why do you give to this place? Well, because you believe that we're making a difference. I often say, when you give to a place like this, Dean says, through, right? I can see hands and feet on a dollar bill, on coins, on checks, on credit cards, and it's just running into food pantries and running into houses and getting backpacks and getting car seats for kids and getting food and groceries for people that couldn't. It's doing the things that we couldn't do, you couldn't do, maybe because you work but you partner with, and it goes out. It makes a huge difference. I can't say thank you enough for just continuing to be faithful. Thank you for giving. Thank you for loving Jesus. Thank you for being a part of our church. Thank you as you give today.